Pretty super cool.
All right, we had some slight technical difficulties, but we are back.
Are back.
You were talking about your major at Maine, how you like tearing shit apart with your hands pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Everything's hands-on. You don't really get that at a lot of schools. So when I got on campus, it was kind of late in the recruitment process, and I just saw the labs they were doing, kind of felt a bit of the culture that they had coming up with all the new coaches and morale, and the team was really looking forward to improving from the shitty seasons they'd had in the past, get back to where they were 10 years ago when they were running over every team, running the triple option, just destroying records nationally and stuff. So yeah, when I got there, that was a real focus, was just getting the team back on track from their 0-10 season. But yeah, I got there freshman year, was starting at center, and then everything kind of dwindled down. There was problems with the administration and the coaches and everything, so didn't turn out for the best like I wanted it to, but I was still with all my buddies, and we just were hoping to make the best of the next 3 years after freshman year. And then went on for another shitty season sophomore year. I was playing tackle, and yeah, end of summer last year, we were getting ready to go back from COVID. The coaches we had there were ready to get back into practices and whatnot, and then the axe came down from above and no more football there. So the maritime schools all across the board have some great programs. All the licenses are the same. Like, I'm a marine engineer, so I do all the shipping out and working down the engine rooms. So I just love that culture, really, the hardworking blue collar culture from that. So I reached out to the coaches here, and I talked to Coach Cam a little bit in high school, and he remembered my name. So we went through a process with admissions and everything, worked to get some transfer credits, and I was here last fall. So it's been working with the team, meeting new kids. Great culture here. I'm really excited to see what we can do this season.
Now, up at Maine, how big was the switch for you to go from center to tackle, and now you're playing tackle here at Mass? How is that, like, in the off season? How did you kind of adapt to make that position change?
So I've ever since I was young, I've been playing all over the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
High school, I started out at tackle my freshman, sophomore year, and then we had an all-state center who was 2 years above me. He actually just graduated from West Point. He was a wrestling captain.
Wow.
And so he was a really good center, a little stocky dude. And then we lost my sophomore year, all 5 O-linemen were seniors. So going into my junior year, they needed someone to step up at center, and I practiced my snaps in the off season. I was the go-to guy for that because I could kind of switch around.
Mm-hmm.
So junior and senior year, played center, got recruited as center and D tackle, and then they needed a center up in Maine, so that's where I ended up. Then sophomore year, we lost a really good left tackle, so they bumped me out there, put the next guy up at center, and that's where I've been. He'll chill with the small guys outside now rather than the big boys up front.
The skinny guys out there.
Yeah, the skinny guys out there.
Now, so you were obviously, I heard you talk about it today, you obviously played in the game when Mass came up there my freshman year and they had the cannon incident.
Yeah.
And the cannon went off.
That was hilarious.
Ref's ear.
Yeah, so we weren't having our best game. It was homecoming. Homecoming up in Maine was crazy. They had all their alumni come back, and one of the guys, he was a CEO at a big construction company up in Maine.
Yeah.
Graduated like 20 years ago. Showed up, had a homemade cannon with them. They were stuffing it with just grass and paper clippings and black powder to make a loud bang, and
yeah.
We score a touchdown in the fourth quarter, first one of the game. And running down to the end zone, I'm standing next to this ref while we're celebrating. You hear the cannon go off, and all of a sudden you just see the ref drop to the ground. Turns out that some of that paper and grass flew out, hit him in the side of the face, and burned the whole side of his face. So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
It was funny to see at the time because that whole week after, like USA Today had like an article
Oh, it
written
was
about
all
it.
over
Like
the place,
every
dude.
major news outlet at least had an article written about. It's like cannon goes off in ref's ear at Division III football game up in Maine, and you're like,
Yeah,
I watched that. Like that's crazy that
yeah.
we're part of that. So that must have been that was something else.
Yeah, I mean, my uncle lives in California. He played ball back in the day, and he's like, what were you guys doing? He's like, I'm seeing this in California. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, it was funny though. It wasn't funny, but looking back on it, it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Look, yeah, like you said, in the moment you feel bad for the ref, but like now looking back, it's funny that it even happened, that went off at the or like that
Yeah,
all transpired like that.
yeah. I'm surprised they even let the guy fire it. Like, they had
Yeah.
a nice cannon, a nice actual one that they bought, and you put shells in it, and it doesn't
Yep.
do anything but make a noise. And you had this guy just shoving it with random shit and blowing it up. So,
So big thing at the I know at least at Mass, I don't know how it was at Maine or SUNY or any of the other maritime academies. The big thing for seniors is growing the mustache, and I see you're in
yeah,
full
I've been looking
caterpillar
forward to
mode right
that.
now. So is that going to be a thing to stay throughout the whole year, or are you going to end up shaving it all off?
Man, I'm hoping to keep it.
It looks
It's a
pretty
little
sweet right
gnarly,
now.
but it's the maritime look, you know?
Yeah.
It's something you look forward to for 3 years, a big privilege. And if you can grow one, you just gotta send it, you know?
Yeah, it's looking sweet, dude. I like it. I think it's like Henry may hear this or not. He may or may not hear this, but his sucks, dude. His is not great.
Yeah,
It's a little caterpillar, like worm looking above his lip. But yours came in thick though.
came in thick. I had the whole beard going right before this, but I
Yeah.
couldn't save that. So gotta keep a little facial hair.
Now, one question we ask everybody that comes on that is an athlete, was an athlete, or is a coach. You've got time for 3 songs before a game. What are you playing in your headphones? Like, what are your 3 big pump up songs?
All big pump up songs. I gotta think about this one. But yeah, I'm big in a pregame. I like a little Wayne,
Okay.
a little rich as fuck, dude. I
Yo,
get that going. Get a little Waka Flocka Flame, dude, like Hard in the Paint or something.
yep.
And then you also got to go with like the classic hard rock stuff, a little Disturbed or yeah, a little Godsmack. Can't even name the songs because you just listen to the
Yeah,
artists for those bangers. But yeah,
that's solid. Now, do you have any weird like pregame rituals that you've kind of carried maybe through high school or maybe you started in college, like something that you consistently do?
me personally, I don't really have any rituals besides I usually try and just find a quiet spot on my own, just kind of play the game over how I want it to go in my head while I just listen to some music and
Mhm.
stretch out, roll out a little bit, just kind of get in the zone. But other than that, that's really my only ritual per se. I
Now,
don't have anything crazy I do.
when it comes to like drip on the field, what do you go with? Because like center is different. Center is you want to have your hands kind of free. You're not going with gloves. Tackle, I feel like you can ice yourself out a little bit more. So like, what do you go with?
Man, I go with the OG look. I just go tape the hand up around the hand, tape the
Right,
wrist all the way up. You know, gotta show the fingers, make it
right.
badass. But other than that, I love the white cleats,
Yeah, the white looks
white
tough look.
socks. Yeah, that's the look.
Now, are you a knee brace guy too? I saw a couple of your pictures. You had the knee brace in Maine. Are you bringing those back or no?
Yeah, I still have them. So my junior year of high school, I tore my PCL.
Okay.
So I missed half the season. My team went on to win the championship in New Hampshire, but I had to sit out the playoffs and everything because I had a torn PCL, which sucked. But yeah, ever since then, I got the braces, and it's more of a preventative thing now. I don't really need them, but
Right.
I don't want to deal with that again, sitting out, missing games. So,
Right.
yeah.
Now, the NCAA granted every pretty much every athlete has at least one more year eligibility. Is that something you're going to look to take up, or like when you're done with school, like this year, are you out of here?
It's still up in the air, really. I mean, the way I'm going right now, I really just want to get out and get a job and make some money. But if all else fails, I still have that other year, come back and play another year of ball. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just more time to
Not
make
count
it
it
money,
out.
you know?
Now, we texted a little bit about this before. I want to do an O-line draft. It's really first O-lineman I've got on here that like were teammates. So I kind of want to hear what like some of your just favorite all-time guys that you just like watching a play. You don't even have to be guys that were like great players, just guys you had a fun time watching. So we'll bounce
This
it back.
one's only been around a couple years, but everybody knows Quentin Nelson.
Oh,
I
it's
love
awesome
going on
watching.
YouTube, watching Quentin Nelson, listening to his mic'd ups and everything.
Mhm.
One guy that sticks close to me though is Logan Mankins,
Okay.
one of the all-time greats from the Patriots. Grew up watching the Patriots. Love watching that guy. And then
No, is there a tackle in the game today, like a left tackle that you try to like model your game after a little bit?
I'm not really that big into modeling my game off of anybody, but one guy I do like watching is Trent Brown,
Yeah.
big left tackle. But yeah, I love watching Joe Thomas back the last few years before he retired. He was one guy I really looked up to. But
It's crazy he never won a play or never went to the playoffs with how
no,
many
I
years he
know.
played and how good he was and just the teams around him. Like the quarterbacks he had to block for at the end of his career, Brandon Weeden, Deshaun Kaiser, guys like that, Manziel, just brutal.
Yeah,
Now,
but yeah, I mean, if you love where you're at and don't want to change it, you might as well just keep playing where you are.
yeah. Now, are you a Pats fan because you're a New England guy?
Oh yeah, I grew up watching the Pats.
How are you?
I've lived in Bedford, New Hampshire since I was 3 years old. So every chance I got, every Sunday, Pats were on. Food was out, Pats were on. Just watching Tom Brady run up and down the field. Pats offense. I was a big Randy Moss guy back in the day. First number I ever had, in second, third grade or whatever, I started playing was 81. You know,
That's
give you
awesome.
random numbers. I was 81, and I'm like, oh, I'm Randy Moss, even though I was playing nose guard. But yeah.
What's your go-to game day snack? Like, is it something your one of your parents makes maybe, or is it? Do you have like a go-to restaurant you'd go out to that you'd get something from?
I've always been big on like the night before getting a big meal of pasta, dude.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pasta, meat sauce, all that good stuff. Just getting the carbs for the day, but usually pregame I'll eat like a Cliff Bar and a banana or something. Don't want too much in the system.
Yeah.
Big breakfast and a little snack before.
Now, what's your go-to meal for when you're watching the Pats? Like, what's that meal for you? Or like snack or
Buffalo
something?
chicken dip, dude. Big bowl of buffalo chicken dip, some hint of lime chips.
Yup.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the way to go.
Now, how are you feeling about the Pats this season? Like with what they've done in the offseason? I mean, it seems like a big quarterback battle between Newton and Mac Jones too, which could be exciting down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I watched that game the other night, and Mac Jones was looking good.
Yeah, he
Just
looked sharp.
sitting in the pocket, nice and calm, but you can never underestimate Cam Newton.
Yeah. Especially Mac didn't get a lot of help from his O-line like third quarter. So, I mean,
Right.
when you get the guys like David Andrews, Trent Brown, those guys back in front of him, I think he could succeed real well. Because he's not like Newton. He's not getting out of the pocket the same way that Newton's going to.
I think the Pats personally have a great pass blocking scheme up front. Doesn't seem like they let up a lot of sacks, but the run game ain't all there. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, the big loss for them is Tooney at left guard, which is that's gonna hurt. But I mean, they had big kid from Michigan on Onwenu last year that they got in like the 6th round, who turned out way better than they expected, which is pretty sweet.
So it'll be exciting to see how they play this year.
Yeah. Now, as a Pats fan, are you looking forward to when the Bucs come back week 4 with Brady and Gronk returning
100%.
to that?
I know I'll be sitting there. My mom's going to be rooting for Brady and Gronk.
Yup.
Oh, my God, I love Tom Brady, but I'm going to be like, screw these guys. Let's go Pats.
Now, as a Pats fan, what was your thought on that when both of them left? because I feel like a lot of Pats fans where it was 50-50 split where they're like, well, still always be a fan of them, or kind of like that screw them, just move on aspect. So what was your whole kind of thought process?
I'm a little bit of both. Like if I'm watching the Bucks play, I'm cheering for Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
But Bucks come to New England goes to Tampa. It's fuck the Bucks, dude.
Yeah.
You know, you want to see Tom Brady throw 4 interceptions when he's playing you, but you
Absolutely.
can never underestimate the guy. Love Tom Brady, love Gronk. Like, those were my guys growing up, so you can't ever say screw them. But it was tough seeing them go, but it's also nice to see them succeed a little bit.
Right. Now, for you, when you were up at Maine, I visited that campus, and it doesn't seem like there's too much to do in that general area up in Cast Iron. What would you guys do on the weekend to get away?
So I don't know it's like Bar Harbor, Acadia National Park. That was like 45 minutes away. So springtime, you spend a lot of time outside. It's a beautiful area, beautiful hikes around. But during the winter, it was a lot different than here at Mass. You had off-campus housing.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have like a football house and a soccer house. So you're actually getting to go out and go party a little bit like a regular college would per se. But
Kind of sweet.
yeah, it was pretty fun. You just make your own fun up there.
Yep.
Like I love skiing, so I'd always rip to my buddies' hunting cabins near Sugarloaf or Sunday River and go hang out with them, do a little ice fishing and go skiing, snowmobiling. So there was a lot of outdoor stuff to do, but your closest city was Bangor,
Oof.
which isn't much of a city, and that was an hour away still.
Yeah. Now, what's been your favorite and probably least favorite part about being down pretty much right outside the Cape? Because you've been down here, you were here for COVID year, and then now you're back for camp. So what's been your favorite and least favorite aspects of it?
Honestly, I love being closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to go home if I want to on the weekends. I'm only a couple hours away. So it's nice being able to keep in touch with guys from home. But I mean, the Cape itself is beautiful during the summer, during the spring. And there's a lot of golfing to do. I like the flat campus. Maine Maritime is a big hill.
Mm-hmm.
Mass is nice and easy to walk around. So
No, yeah, I forgot you're a big golf guy. How has your game been since like over the summer? Or well, you haven't played over the summer, so you kind of just got out back playing yesterday. So how did your game take a bit of a hit from being on the ship?
yeah, it did. It took a major hit, dude. So I was playing on the weekends before we left.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back one day. I got a day off when we were in Boston. And went home for a day, played with my buddies, shot my best round. I shot a 40, which isn't great, but it was nice. It was nice shooting that 40 on 9. Yeah, yesterday I went out in Falmouth and played a cool little par 3 down there. But I'm hit or miss, you know. I'll hit it great off the tee box, and then I'll shank it towards the green, or I'll hit it awful off the green or off the tee box, and then get a nice chip up there.
Now, are you a big watching golf guy, or are you just a player?
So I've always been I was always a player, but this year in particular with COVID and everything, just getting together with some guys, like watching the Masters, watching the PGAs, watching like Phil Mickelson this year, dude. When we were getting ready to leave on the Kennedy, we were all stuck on campus. So we'd go to my buddy's room and we'd just watch golf all day.
That's sweet.
Drink a couple beers, watch some golf, dude. Nothing better than sitting there watching sports in general.
Absolutely, man. It's golf's one that like you have to kind of grow to like to watch. And like over the years, I've gotten to like it a lot more. And it just, when there's the big tournaments like the Open and the Masters, it just gets exciting to watch guys play, especially like you said, guys like Phil when they're playing good, like, or like whenever Tiger's good, golf is fun. That's pretty much how I feel. Is whenever those older guys are playing their best, golf is at its best. It's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Me watching golf also pisses me off though, because you wonder how those guys can make all those shots like they do.
Oh, how
they make it look so easy, and then you go out the next day and you're like, what the hell just happened?
It's crazy to think about because you'll struggle at a 9-hole course, but if they go out there, they'd absolutely just torch the course,
Oh yeah.
shoot like 10 under probably on a 9-hole course, if that, and they just absolutely tear it up. So that's definitely the frustrating aspect of watching golf. But so we got practicing. What's it right now? 1:15. We got practice in about an hour and a half. So I'll let you go, Josh. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're in uppers today, so it's an exciting day. We're actually gonna be able to hit.
Yeah,
so
we'll get to hit a little bit. It's been too long. Bro.
We got some O-line, D-lines coming up, so I'm definitely excited about that.
Yeah, we'll have to post some of those highlights up here.
Absolutely. But
all right, man.
Appreciate it, Josh, and thank you for listening to this episode of the My Parents Office podcast. Stay tuned for episode 104 of Camp Chronicles. And yeah, make sure you follow us on social media and subscribe to the Substack. Thanks, guys.